Hey, welcome back to Real Food Blog. This is just a quick segment on the chili rellenos and doing the pasillas and roasting those pasillas and getting them ready so you can stuff them with Monterey Jack cheese, and then that way you can fry them up and make the chili rellenos. Okay, this is the first step of the process. And so basically we got some pasilla chilies. They are these big green chilies you get at the grocery store. And what we're doing is we're roasting them over an open flame, and we're getting a char on them. They're hot, so be careful, okay? We're getting a char on them. You can see that, okay? And then what we're going to do with these chilies is we're going to put them in a bowl, okay? And we're going to cover them, and we're going to let them steam for about 15 minutes, okay? 10-15 minutes. And the reason that we're doing that is because we're going to get these skins off of them, okay? We're going to peel the outer skin off the part that we've roasted, okay? And then we're going to cut a slit in each of them, and we're going to take out the seeds, and then that way we're prepping these to stuff them with the Monterey Jack cheese, okay? So that's what we're doing right now. So we're going to take these off, okay? Put them in a bowl, like I said, okay, just like that. Put some plastic wrap over them, and just let them steam, okay, for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then we'll show you what we're going to do next with these pasilla chilies to make the chili rellenos. Okay, so stay tuned for that right here on Real Food Blog. So we're continuing to make those chili rellenos, and remember we have charred the outside of the skin. They got soft and nice and charred. And so we're just going to take that skin off, okay? And it comes off relatively easy now that we've been able to char it and let it steam covered in a bowl, right? So we've done that, and we're getting, you just want to get the skin off like that without tearing a hole in the flesh, okay? Because we want to keep this flesh intact, okay? So just like that, and we're going to continue to do that to the rest of the chilies. And then we're going to take it and put a tiny slit in it, okay, on one side. Try not to go through both sides. You don't want too big of a slit, but you want enough where you can fill in there, get out any seeds, okay? This one doesn't have too many seeds, so basically we made a slit. Put your finger or thumb through there, make sure there's any excess seeds to take out, okay? And then we're going to do this with all three of the, or however many chilies you're using, okay? This recipe calls for 6 chilies, and so we're going to continue to do that. And then we stuff them, okay, with the cheese, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some cheese. Now there's two different ways to do this. You can do it with shredded cheese, or you can do it with a stick of cheese, okay? I like to do it with the shredded cheese because I have a little more control over the over stuffing it, right? The key is to get it stuffed, not to overstuff it, okay? And then to get it covered in flour, okay? We're going to coat this in flour with chili. That way the batter sticks to it, okay? So basically, we're going to stuff this chili just like that, okay? Just like that is how we're going to stuff it, okay? And then we're going to just press it together, and then in some flour, okay? We're going to roll it in some flour. Just want to be really delicate with it, okay? So now, after I've rolled these in flour, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let them sit in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes. Okay, that way the cheese firms up, and they have a tendency, they won't have a tendency to blow out. Okay, when I fry them. Okay, it'll keep the cheese cool longer, so that it doesn't get as melty, right, when you're frying them up. So that's a trick with them. And then all we're going to do after this, okay, is dip them in batter, okay, which is just some flour, some salt, some cumin, some chili powder, okay, and then we're going to fry them up in a cast iron skillet, okay, and we'll show you that right after this. Okay, so now those chili rellenos are chilling in the refrigerator, and now we're going to make the batter for the chili rellenos. Okay, so basically we've got the flour in here. It's a cup of flour, I believe, and you can get this recipe on the Real Food blog as well. A cup of milk. Okay. Lightly beaten egg, teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of baking powder and baking soda. Okay. Also calls for a teaspoon of vegetable oil. Okay. Put that in there. And then I add a teaspoon of cumin. Okay. And some chili powder. Okay. So that's it. Okay. For the wet batter. And then we're just going to stir this up. Now, the thicker the batter, the more fluffy the chili rellenos are going to be. The thinner the batter, the crispier, okay, they're going to be. Now, there's a happy medium in between. I tend to like them a little bit crispier because then they hold up to the sauce, and they hold up to keeping them warm in the oven too. Okay, so you want a batter like about that. It's kind of like a pancake batter, okay, I would say. Alright, so we got the batter, and so now we're going to dip them and fry them. Okay, so now that they've chilled for a little while, we're going to dip them in the batter. Okay, before we dip in the batter, we're going to check the oil temperature. Okay, so we want to have a candy thermometer. They're $3 at the store, great investment. We're going to check the temperature. We want to have the frying temperature at about 350 to 375 to begin with. Okay, because when we add these into the hard oil, the temperature is going to be reduced because they're cold. Okay, even if they weren't cold, it would reduce the temperature, but it's going to reduce the temperature significantly. So we want to make sure we have the temperature set here properly, and then we're going to fry them at about 300 to 325 for just a few minutes aside. So the temperature is coming up to 275, approaching 300, so it should be there by the time we're ready. So now we're going to dip these bad boys in the batter, right, on one side, getting that seam side down first. You're just going to put that seam side, the side you cut, that we stuff with the cheese, that's going to go down first into the fryer. That way it stays sealed, okay? You want to keep it sealed. So if you gotta get a spoon to help, because you don't want, they're delicate, you don't want to be thrashing these chilies around, opening up that seam. So if you have to, just get a spoon to help you cover them. Okay, just like that. Okay. Okay, just like that. Okay, and these are going to go down right into the oil. This is probably going to be able to do 2 at a time as I'm using the 8-inch cast iron skillet. But you'll get the idea from this process, okay? We just continue to do that. We'll show you what they look like. Alright, so we put the first couple of chili rellenos in the fryer. They come out nice, delicious, brown, okay? We got the last one that we're frying. We're going to flip it for you right here on Real Food Blog to show you what we're doing, okay? So now, we're going to flip this one and let it do its thing, and then check it out as it's finishing cooking. My goodness, guys. Homemade chili rellenos right here on Real Food Blog. Hope you enjoyed this as much as we will. Chili rellenos. We're served with the Roja sauce that we made, a little bit of beans and rice, a little bit of pico de gallo, shredded lettuce, some sour cream or something like that. And thank you for joining us on Real Food Blog. We'll see you next time, right here on Real Food Blog.